they can report to me any complaint. And there will be a manager who will redirect their complaints to the proper office. So kung malalaman ko dito kung yung bumbero doon is working. And ang policies ko from here on would bind local governments.
Good morning, class.
Ang ating risk talaga is prices ng food, no? So ito yung imo-monitor natin.
Dismayado man ang Pangulo, nakikita niyang pubuti na ang sitwasyon kapag naramdaman na ang epekto ng mga hakbang ng gobyerno sa pagpaparami ng supply ng agricultural products.
I suppose it can only be said that the measures that we have taken have not yet gone through the system.
Are developing countries required to catch up with these expensive developmental plans? For decades, the solution to alleviate poverty has been to assist developing countries in becoming more like rich nations. The government put billions into assistance programs, infrastructural projects, and economic reforms for development. However, this approach has not been successful. Instead, it only increased inequality, environmental devastation, and social instability. In our society, there are people who are marginalized and pushed to the fringes of society. They live in squatter areas where they struggle to find basic necessities like food, clean water, and even shelter. Farmers, who provide us with the food we eat, are being snatched from their righteous land, leaving them with no means to support their families. The transportation crisis in our cities makes it difficult for people to commute to work or school, adding more burden to already struggling lives. In order for us to reach zero poverty, developed or rich countries should pause and take a step to prioritize economic balance and lessen the gap. Developed nations should shift toward sustainable consumption and limit greenhouse gas emissions. The ecological footprint of developed countries is increasing faster than emerging countries. The top 5 GDP countries account for 60% of all carbon emissions. However, the consequences are felt by everyone. The developing rich countries entails deconstructing the institutions and structures, perpetuating inequality, injustice, and destruction of the environment. It involves rejecting the idea of everlasting growth and reframing progress in terms other than GDP. Economic growth in less developed economies is critical for reducing the gap between rich and poor countries. Differences in the rates of economic growth of nations are frequently due to difference in inputs, factors of production, and disparities in the productivity of labor as well as capital resources. Higher productivity supports faster economic growth, and faster growth allows a country to rise out of poverty. Institutions that create incentives for invention and production are among the factors that can boost productivity and growth. In some situations, the government can play an important role in the development of a country's economy. Growth is still not the way to solve poverty, as we have grown too much already. It is time to to re-examine our development standards and embrace the development concept. It is not about returning to a pre-modern era. It is about adopting a new way of life that prioritizes quality over quantity. Only then we will be able to build a country or world that is equal, just, and sustainable.